Blaze here, welcome back to another anime haul video. Today we're going to be doing a Funimation haul. So we got six Funimation Blu-rays or franchises. Some of them are more than one Blu-ray, but anyway, yeah, six things, six different series and franchises I want to talk about. Should we just get into it? Let's just jump straight in. I'm really tired. I'm like running on less sleep because I stayed up way too late last night. Anyway, partly the reason I stayed up quite late last night is because I finished this particular franchise, which has sort of galvanised me to some degree to do this video. Been trying to watch. I spent most of this year, to be honest, past like January, so like February onwards until just literally the last week or so. I've basically watched nothing but like old anime. Like, there's been like one or two like modern things in between, but everything else has been like cell animated, like last century basically. And yeah, so I decided to fall back into some modern stuff for a bit, and decided to pick up one of the ones off my shelves that has been there a little while. I haven't owned this series for too long. I was a little bit late on it, but yeah, finally do have it all, and have now finally seen it all. Absolutely adored it. Violet Evergarden. So we got the complete series here, and then the first movie, Eternity and the Auto Memory Doll, and then the second movie, which is just called The Movie, just to make it very confusing. Yeah, Violet Evergarden, the movie. Man, I don't know where to start with this one. I want to convey how much I adored it. I gave this a 10 out of 10. I mean, this isn't a surprise to most people, I suppose, especially those that have seen it. And you might not have given it a 10 necessarily, but this is one of the highest rated anime, basically, of the last 10 years for sure. It came out all the way back in 2018. I can't believe it's already 6 years old. Like, it blows my mind, some anime in my mind that are still, like, super new to me. And they're already, like, yeah, over half a decade old. So, yeah, it's kind of mad. But, right, Violet Evergarden stars this character here, who is called Violet Evergarden. She's basically an like military. This world is like a fantasy world. It's one of my favourite things. I suppose we'll just dive into that. One of my favourite aesthetics, if you will, one of my favourite styles in anime in general is fantasy world, but basically it's just mimicking like early 1900s, so like 1910 or 1900 up to like what 1940s or something, that sort of aesthetic. Yeah, it's what Fullmetal Alchemist does. It's what Pumpkin Scissors does. It's what Sound of the Sky does. It's what Violet Evergarden does. It's just a beautiful aesthetic. I absolutely love it. You get this like slightly like fantasy elements to it, but all mixed in with you know, you get a bit of steampunk as well, but all like mixed into this like basically like early 1900s Europe. A beautiful aesthetic and one of my absolute favourites. Actually another anime on this list that sort of is similar. We'll get into that when we get to it, but yeah, Violet Evergarden is just a beautiful series. So she's ex-military. There's been a war, which is also, you know, very reminiscent of the early 1900s. Yeah, so there's been a giant war, and she lost both her arms in the war. She lost basically her commanding officer, like her most you know, the most important person in her life, basically. I suppose the one criticism I put on this series, maybe I forgot, then maybe they do like dabble in it in a bit, but basically Violet herself is kind of like this just orphan girl that happens to, you know, just come into some sort of custody of this character called Major Gilbert, who's obviously an officer in the war, and she's basically described as a super weapon, but she's kind of like a mute, completely like emotionally just not there, doesn't really understand emotions and all this sort of thing. She just, you know, basically just does what she's told, and is very obedient, I suppose, like does everything she's told. And but like I said, the one criticism I suppose is that we don't know really anything about what happened to her prior to this moment in her life. Like, we know that she's orphaned, but we don't know why she's got like these incredible abilities that kind of make her somewhat a super soldier. That's not really what the show is about, but that is basically the character that she is. It's kind of like an excuse to have like this girl that looks like a, you know, like she walked out of an idol band or something. You know, looks like she should be on a poster, like getting the boys to, you know, enlist and all that sort of thing. You know what I mean? But for some reason, she's on the front lines and is incredibly astute at killing people, basically. She loses Major Gilbert in the war. Like, they win the war, basically, but she loses Major Gilbert. She also loses both her arms. And this is kind of where I get like the kind of steampunky vibes, like proper Fullmetal Alchemist. She gets like a new metal aesthetic limbs that are all worked through gears and things like that. It all looks really cool. Anyway, and Major Gilbert's last words were basically to her, was that, you know, I want you to go and live free, be free, you know, go and live your, you know, go and live an actual life, you know. And, you know, he says I love you to her, and she just doesn't quite get it because she's, you know, just not emotionally aware as such, like getting there but not fully there. And so basically her mission becomes to live free and try and understand what I love you means. And she ends up becoming a scribe, basically, working at this post office or postal company, where basically she'll help those who can't, you know, read or write, because it's, you know, still set in like, I was about to say set in the early 1900s. You know, it's set in a world similar to that. There's going to be people out there that can't necessarily read and write, and so she does that for them, and writes these beautiful letters for people to help them express love for others and all these other things, and like that basically lends into her learning about it herself. So yeah, it's sort of like there are a little couple little things like that that kind of, I'm not sure they work as well as they could. They sort of just feel like story, like plot excuses to get the character to, you know, learn about I love you, but then she's also like seemingly incredibly adept at helping others express emotion and stuff, at least after like the first few episodes. Anyway, so the series basically devolves into like these episodic stories where she's going and being this auto memory doll, is how they describe it, but basically a scribe who goes and travels these places to help people write letters that are really important to them. And these episodes, because it becomes very episodic, these episodes become like incredibly emotional. Yeah, so this is very much like in kind of style, I would like describe this in a similar way to like Natsume's Book of Friends, Mushishi, Kino's Journey, that sort of things. If you've seen those, you kind of know what to expect with this, although like nothing in this is quite as fantastical and, you know, things as those shows are, but it's really about just in-depth that's kind of a weird way to phrase it, but, you know, like very deep, like emotional stuff. Sometimes it's a bit more fluffy, but like some of the episodes, like there's one episode in particular, and I'm pretty sure if you've seen this series you know, so I'm not even going to tell you which episode it is because I don't want to spoil it for those that, you know, I don't want them to come to expect it. But yeah, there's one episode in this particular that, well, there's loads of episodes that kind of made me like shed tears throughout, but then there's just one episode that absolutely, I was on the verge of ugly cry in terms of emotions. Like, it was so in depth, and they actually come back around to that episode later on in the second movie, which is kind of cool. But yeah, Violet Evergarden is amazing. Like, it's not often that an anime will just make me cry, like, or shed tears, like, basically every episode. Like, it's such good storytelling, so yeah, I hope I've done some sort of justice to this show. Probably not really. Let's just move on, shall we? Violet Evergarden and Eternity. Yeah, Eternity in the Auto Memory Doll. So this is a movie. This one's kind of a side story. This is like a proper sequel to the TV series. But yeah, this one's just like a side story movie. I really enjoyed this one. Initially I didn't think I was going to. It's absolutely gorgeous, as again you'd expect from Kyoto Animation. But like early on there was some kind of like weird Yuri, like kind of, not really, but like a little bit of Yuri vibes, and just, it was sort of weird. Like they turned Violet into like this, you know, Lady Oscar, like Rose of Versailles sort of thing, and I didn't really understand why that was happening as such. It was all a bit weird. Just seemed like an excuse to, you know, have that aesthetic really. So like she goes to like this all girls school and helps this character become ready to basically become like make her debut as like a lady in society or something. Like, so she's at this all girls school, and like Violet's got this incredible like etiquette and all this thing. It is sort of weird. Like, we know that, I didn't mention it, but like at one point, well, basically in the first episode of Violet Evergarden, the TV series, like she gets basically adopted into this house, the Evergardens, and I mean, we really don't see it beyond that, but like presumably, like she obviously learns a lot of skills there, because like before that she's like this military, like killing machine, and then suddenly, you know, she turns into something far more elegant and, you know, full of etiquette and all this sort of stuff, and this movie really like doubles down on that in the early going, and it's, yeah, like it is what it is. I enjoyed the aesthetic. I actually enjoyed the little you know, personal friendship she makes with this other character. I can't remember her name. Is it going to be? Surely it'll be on the back here. Yeah, Isabel. Um, I enjoyed that. I thought it was good. I just didn't. I didn't quite. There's a bit where they they have like this dance, and like all the other girls are all partnered up as well, but the other girls are all, you know, girl wearing dress, and then suddenly Violet, for some reason, who wears a dress all the time, like she's not trying to be a, you know, pretend to be a man like, you know, Lady Oscar and all that sort of stuff. Like, that's not what's going on. Um, but yeah, like she comes wearing like this suit and stuff. It's weird. It's weird. Like, I'm sure a certain, I'm sure people liked it, but for me, I just thought it was sort of out of character and just sort of odd. But whatever. I don't really know why I'm going into it that much. It didn't really bother me a whole lot. But yeah, it was just weird. But other than that, I really enjoyed this. Again, I didn't think I was going to, but it got to insane emotional, again, like depths at the end. I was, yeah, proper tearing up and crying again. Just turned me into a mess almost every episode. There's the thing I'm talking about where Violet's like wearing kind of like a suit and all that. That was all just a bit odd to me. But whatever. Oh look, completely pointless digital copy. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, honestly, I wasn't sure what I was going to make of this at first. Because once I pretty much very quickly realised, oh yeah, this isn't obviously not a sequel. This is clearly just like a side story. And it was heavily focused on two characters that, you know, weren't in the TV series. So I wasn't really sure about that. But in the end, like, it was great. Absolutely loved it. It was just like a really long and very good episode, if you will. So yeah, 90-minute film, really, really cool. God, I can't believe we've been talking this long about Violet Evergarden. What the hell? And then, and then finally, we have the movie, which I literally watched and finished last night. So yeah, the movie is the second movie. Not confusing at all. Yeah, but this is the sequel. I don't want to get into this one too much because it's got like obviously major spoilers. I really, really enjoy this. I didn't end up giving this one a 10. I've seen a lot of people give this one a 10 as well. I did really, really enjoy it. I thought the ending was incredible. It was very like kind of like Eureka 7. Like, not in any other like significant way, but other than just like, I don't know, if you've seen the end of Eureka 7 and like you've seen the end of this, then you'll get where I'm coming from. Sort of reminded me of that, as well as other things that come to mind, like Chrono Crusade and things. Yeah, Violet Evergarden, the second movie, was really cool, but it like again, really, really emotional. I felt like the ride to get to the ending was a little bit rocky, and more rocky than I kind of wanted it to be. I don't know, like I sort of got where one of the characters was coming from, but then also kind of not. Really, it all seemed a bit, I don't know, like emotion and melodrama for melodrama's sake to some degree. Again, I really, really, really liked it. It's a beautiful film. Again, like amazing animation. Again, um, yeah, I was kind of surprised how early like the big reveal in this film comes about. I mean, it's not like super well. They hint there's a big teaser of it really early on, and like, I mean, I kind of expect like the show doesn't really hide away from like the big reveal in this. To be honest, I feel like so like the actual series, you kind of expect things to eventually come to where they come to in this, I guess, to some degree, but still, I don't know. I don't really go into it because it was major spoilers, and I don't want to spoil this franchise for anyone. I wasn't, I didn't get spoiled for it, so I don't want to do that to anyone else. Violet Evergarden is amazing. This, I got the 4K version because, I mean, personally, like, if there's a combo pack like this, I'm always going to get... I did this with, in the past, even... Well, I probably did have a Blu-ray player, but I always recommend doing this. Like, you can get this movie on just Blu-ray, but yeah, like, if you're going to buy that, yeah, I would recommend always getting the 4K version if it comes with a Blu-ray, and then you can just watch the Blu-ray, but you know you've got a 4K version if and when you ever upgrade to 4K, which I haven't done. I have a 4K player, I don't have a 4K TV, but if and when I ever do, I've got some stuff I'll be able to watch on it, and I'm sure this looks brilliant in 4K HDR and all that. Although my experience of HDR hasn't been particularly great, to be honest. Anyway, whatever. Violet Evergarden, the movie, amazing. I talked about that for so long. I'm going to take a short little break, and then we're back for some more stuff. Okay, we're back. There's some drilling going on outside. I don't think you'll be able to hear it, but it is pretty loud. I can hear it very easily, but I don't know if the microphone's catching it. But if it is, it's on my end. So anyway, so... next up is something I watched a little whiles back, but it was earlier this year. I hit a major goal in my anime viewing life, if you will. My anime life, whatever you want to call it. Where I hit 2,000 anime marked as watched on my anime list, which is pretty cool. And I was really kind of unsure for ages about what to make my 2000th anime, because when you see it coming up, you kind of like, I should pick something special. Like, I mean, nothing's going to beat what I picked for my 1000th, which was Otaku no Video. You can't really beat that as your 1000th anime that you're going to watch and mark as completed. So I was really unsure about what to watch, but and what I kind of picked is a little bit underwhelming, but it means a lot to me. It'd be underwhelming to others, but it means a lot to me. So, in terms of video games and like JRPGs and all this sort of stuff, my favourite series is the Tales series from Bandai Namco, and this here is Tales of Zestiria, an anime that a video game and an anime as we'll get into, but a video game that is sort of underwhelming to a lot of Tales fans over the years. I quite enjoyed it. It was like the big 20th anniversary event, this game, and it really didn't live up to any sort of hype for a lot of people. I get a lot of the criticisms, but I actually personally really kind of like this game. I really like the cast. The cast really pulls me through the game, and I'm not a huge fan of like elaborate graphics, so for me, like, this game that, even for 2014 looks kind of old in terms of its graphics and stuff, kind of appeals to me. Like, it looked kind of like an early, this feels like this could have run on, like, I mean, it did come out on PS3 as well, but the game aesthetically looks like an old, like, Xbox 360 late PS2 game up-resed with slightly more detail, obviously, but anyway, whatever, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I love the cast. I love Saray and Mikleo especially, my boys. I absolutely love their friendship in this game, and all the other characters are so much fun, like Lila, Edna, and all that. They're so cool. So anyway, Tales of Zestiria. So I finally got the platinum. That was it. I finally got the platinum trophy for this game, which is quite difficult. It's probably one of the hardest ones, apart from Tales of Symphonia. If you know platinum trophies and whatever else, you'll know that Tales of Symphonia has a very difficult Platinum trophy. But yeah, Tales of Systeria also does. Beating this game on Chaos was quite the journey, but even with the grade shop and all the upgrades, we won't get into it because that's not what this video is about. But yeah, got the platinum, so I felt like I could finally watch the anime, which I've been meaning to do for years and years and years. So yeah, I decided to make this my 2000th anime, and yeah, so it wasn't actually the series though, but we do have everything here. So we do have everything here. So we got the two parts that make up the series, and then we got the special, which came out originally with the game. This Blu-ray came with the limited edition of the game. Now, this is actually still worth picking up. I don't know why this is the case, but even though it's included as a extra on this set, this is the first series, this, like, how did I describe it? This is special. Like, it's basically, as I say, it came with the video game. This series came out like a couple of years later, but this came with the video game. It's all animated by UFO Table, and yeah, it's basically just like the first hour or two of the game, like animated, and it looks gorgeous. It has all the voice actors from the video game, and that's kind of like the dub voice actors, and that's like the thing, right? So it's included on this set as an extra, but it's subtitled only. Even though it has a dub, you could, on this particular edition, it has a dub. So yeah, if you want the dub, and in more ways than one, even if you're a sub purist, I feel like you probably do want it, because it's a chance that even if you're a sub purist, you may have played this with the dub. I don't know. If you're a sub purist, maybe you didn't. But yeah, if you play this with the dub, you kind of do want this dubbed as well, because again, the video game cast is the same as the anime cast. So yeah, Tales of Styria Dawn of the Shepherd special. Yeah, I recommend, you can get this off eBay. People sell this individually, possibly because, you know, they've got this and they think, oh, it doesn't matter, I've got it, you know, I don't need this as an individual release. But yeah, maybe they haven't checked to find out that, yeah, the only way to get this dubbed is to own this particular version. So yeah, I really enjoyed this special. It's really cool. I mean, again, it's just the first 2 hours of the game. This is, like I said, it's only about 40 minutes long, but yeah, 45 minutes, but yeah, it's basically the first couple of hours of the game. Animated, looks gorgeous. Yeah, I recommend it for fans, and yeah, if you like the dub cast, which I do, this is the only way to get that. Anyway, so then we got the series. Now the series kind of diverges greatly from the actual game itself, which super surprised me. I mean, they both sort of have like a similar like end game. They have like the similar, you know, bad guy in it and all these sort of things, but like the actual way that the story is paced and goes is quite a bit different, quite a bit. And I think there is even a character in it that I'm pretty sure turns in the game into a villain, and she just doesn't in this. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe she does eventually, but I felt like she just didn't. But maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm misremembering that. I might be misremembering that. It's really hard to like like split up the game and the anime in my mind. But anyway, yeah, this is a lot different. There's so many. It's kind of cool, really, because like it's not just a video game. Like, it's for fans of the video game, and then it changes a lot of stuff that kind of just gives you a completely different story, even though they both end up in a similar place. But yeah, it's beautifully animated, has the dub cast and everything. So yeah, I really enjoyed getting through this. It's kind of frustrating, I suppose, that like of all of the Tales anime, to get like a proper TV series, like this is one of few, and this is like one of the ones that people just don't like very much, unfortunately, like the game and stuff. So it's kind of unfortunate that this is the one that got all of the deluxe treatment, although a lot of that again is basically because it was a 20th anniversary project, like the more pointless digital copies that no one wants. Anyway, so yeah, I think yeah, it's kind of a shame because it was a 20th anniversary project. They put a lot of effort in, and yeah, the game kind of fell on Deaf Ears, yeah, kind of was a bit flat for a lot of people, but I really enjoyed it, and I thought the anime was really, really cool as well. There's a couple of episodes, which is kind of a bit random, really. I mean, if you don't know, and you probably, there's a high chance that you don't, these games are basically related to each other. Tales of Berseria is a prequel, even though it came out after this, and it takes place 1,000 years earlier. But like, because the Tales of Berseria was on the verge of coming out, there's actually 2 episodes in this that are basically just the first couple of hours of Tales of Berseria. So just like the Dawn of the Shepherd special, they did the same, but they inserted it just randomly into, I think, season 1 of Tales of Zestiria X has those episodes. So yeah, there's just 2 random episodes. One of my favourite things they did in this, though, is that I think it's the next episode previews are done just like the skits in the game. Like, if you're a big fan of Tales games, you'll know that one of the best things about it, one of the things that I don't understand why every other JRPG hasn't copied over the years, but for some reason they haven't, is skits, where basically you get like these, and basically like, you know, still images, but like it's the characters like reacting to situations that are currently going on in the game, or just random conversations they're having with each other that really just like help the characters to grow like emotionally and just like fun ways, and you just connect to them so much more. And like there's so many of them, like each game has about 250 skits or something, and you'll just find them as you go along on your journey, and they're really, really cool. I don't, like I said, one of my favourite things about Tales games is skits. And so finding the anime basically having identical styled skits at the end for like the next episode previews and little stupid conversations they'd have with each other, I thought was so cool. Yeah, Tales of Styria is great. Tales games are great. I'm currently playing one at the moment. I'm playing Tales of Xillia again. I played a sizable chunk of it like years and years and years ago on an old PSN account I had, and yeah, I don't think I ever finished it, unfortunately, but I'm planning to do that this time around, playing it on the PS3. It's kind of stupid, really, because like Tales of Xillia remastered for like PS4 and PS5 is basically leaked already. It's probably going to come next year, but I was just like, well, I've got the PS3 version, I kind of want to just play it, so I'm just going to play it. And I'm really, really enjoying it. I'm like 25 hours into it already. Yeah, it's great. Anyway, Tales of Zestiria. It's really, really cool. Okay, it took way too long to talk about both of those, but and I'm not sure I did a great job of talking about them. But anyway, still got 4 more things to go. I was really contemplating just splitting this video there and just ending it there, but I got 4 more things. We're just gonna go for it. So. Okay, so next up is one that again takes place this time in like, well, it is fantasy-ish, but it is fantasy, but it takes place in the real world. So this takes place in the Taisho era of Japan, early 1920s, 1923 to be exact. Mars Red. So this is a vampire show that takes place in 1920s Japan, and it's really freaking cool in my opinion. Unfortunately, I feel like this was a show that Funimation expected to be pretty big, like a big hit, because I remember that they did a simuldub for this, which is obviously not uncommon these days, but they did a simuldub day and date with the subtitled version. So like a new subtitled version of the episode would come out at exactly the same time, also a dubbed version. So they kind of seemingly, were of the opinion that this is going to be a big hit, and it wasn't, unfortunately. But I came to it a lot later. I think I watched this last year or maybe the year before, 2022 or 2023, I can't recall. But yeah, I really, really, really enjoyed Mars Red. Yeah, so vampire series set in like one of my favourite periods of Japan. Like I said, I really like that early 1900s aesthetic. This has that. You get all like the old style Japanese military uniforms and stuff. Vampire stuff, which is really, really cool. Really, really cool soundtrack. There's like a lot of this takes place around like a theatre, so you get lots of Just really cool looking aesthetics with that as well, along with the I think, yeah, a lot of like singing and things, which is obviously quite fits in with the whole aesthetic of like vampires and things as well. I feel like, especially when I think back to like Blood Plus and you know, things like that, Divas theme and all that. Yeah, I, I I really enjoyed it. So it's basically this thing where like I'm trying to read the back because the paragraph is so tiny. So it's 1923, and the mysterious blood source Askra has unleashed a horde of vampires across Japan. In response, the government spawns Code Zero with S-rank vampire Defrot and rookie Kurisu. The kill squad is made for one purpose: to hunt the undead. So yeah, it's basically these vampires enlisted to kill fellow vampires um, in the military and stuff. So yeah, man, I really, like I said, I really enjoyed the aesthetic of this. It's got a really nice looking like animation style. It's a little bit different, and I really like how it has like an ultra like widescreen like presentation. I can't remember the exact aspect ratio right now, but yeah, it's got black bars on the top and bottom despite already being widescreen sort of thing. And like I said, I just really like the aesthetic where you get like the Western influences with the older, old timey, like Japanese, like aesthetics and stuff. So you get like lots of like giant brick buildings that are all like, you know, clearly like heavily Western like influence, right next to like old timey like Japanese, you know, feudal Japan, like Edo period type stuff. It all looks really cool. I really like that aesthetic. Um, and yeah, just the vampire story in general, I thought was really cool. My only criticism is like, I won't say who or whatever because obviously that'd be a major spoiler. But like, one of my favorite characters ends up dying like halfway through the show, which kind of bummed me out. But yeah, whatever. um, yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I'm just not doing a very good job of describing things today. I'm clearly too tired. But Mars Red is really cool. It's a shame. I rate average ratings for this aren't so great. I would highly recommend giving it a chance if you like vampire stories. I think you'll really dig this one, especially if you like historical Japan as well. I just think it's, yeah, like I said, really cool aesthetic. Really enjoyed this one. Mars Red is cool. Dub's cool. The ending theme is amazing. I think it's Gact who does the ending theme, but maybe I'm wrong. I think it is, but I might be wrong. But yeah, I love the ending theme so much. I've made it like one of my top 10 entries on my anime list. I've got like a top 10 endings or whatever, and just last week actually I decided to change one of them out for the ending to Mars Red because I absolutely adore it. Link in the description to the ending. It's amazing. The end song. Anyway, yeah, Mars Red. I really recommend it. Didn't do a very good job of describing it, but whatever. Yeah, I really enjoy it, and I would like for you to do so as well. That show is a little bit underrated, in my opinion. Okay. I watched this one so long ago, so trying to remember it is going to be difficult. But I really liked it. So yeah, Outer Raymond, on the Sky. Outer Raymond on the Sky. So this, the quickest way to describe this, I guess, is fantasy Legend of the Galactic Heroes. So yeah, you got, again, fantasy military thing going on. Quite like that. There's an unintentional theme throughout this whole video. Yeah, so rather than stumbling to remember, let's just read a bit at the back. So the lazy womanizing Ikta Solork, who is this character here, the black hair, is about as far from a soldier as you can get, but with the Cat Jivana Empire now at war, he's off to join the army in search of a cushy job. As luck would have it, his natural wit and a sudden encounter with a princess, one with the red hair, burdens him with a responsibility he never asked for, a commanding position in the war. So yeah, like I said, it's kind of like Fantasy Legend of Galactic Heroes because this guy becomes like this military commander and basically he's quite adept at it, naturally gifted at it. And it gets into like the weeds of like the strategy of war and stuff, which is a lot of what Legend of Galactic Heroes is like. Also, the character here, what's his name again? Iktar Solork or whatever. Solork. Yeah, he's basically freaking Wenli Yang from Legend of the Galactic Heroes, like the guy from the Planet Alliance. Like, he's basically the same character in his demeanor and all this stuff. Maybe not on the womanizing side. He's kind of like the womanizer, as it says. Yang's not really like that, but yeah. Other than that, like, he's very similar to that. Like, it's very like this like lazy, easygoing, but also like huge strategic mind, knows what he's talking about, sort of thing. It's only like 12 episodes, based on like a light novel, so kind of has some, I don't know, light novel-ish stuff in it, I guess. I don't know. This is obviously way before the big isekai light novel freaking hell that we've been living through for like the last 7 or 8 years or something. I think it's a bit older than that, maybe. Anyway, whatever. I really, really enjoyed it. It was really highly rated when it came out, but I feel like it's a show that's sort of just become forgotten. Because, yeah, like, it didn't get a sequel, it's not finished, and there's only like 12 episodes or 13 episodes, but yeah, like, came and went. Like, I hate this world we live in where we get these great shows and we just never return to them for some reason. So yeah, it's kind of frustrating, but it was really good. I do recommend it. If it's streaming somewhere, probably still maybe go that route, because it's out of print now. Like, there was an Essentials release and this release, and I'm pretty sure they're both hard to find, although maybe not overly expensive. But anyway, some cool looking art. Like, I think the princess is from like a almost like a desert, like Arabian type kingdom, even though she's white with red hair. But I think that's where she's from. I might be wrong, but anyway, that's kind of how she looks anyway. Or maybe that's where he's from. I don't know. As you can see, there's sort of like deserty sort of buildings in the back. I don't know. It's cool. I liked it. I recommend it. I did a bad job talking about it. Okay. I don't know. I'm just going to do this video because I've already filmed so much of it. We're going to get through to the end. We're going to. Okay. Here's a bit of a random one that I watched last year. Absolutely loved. So I wanted to get it. It's a really, really fun show. Like, it's moe girls doing shit, which is one of my favourite genres, quite frankly. I could kind of do without the moe girls. It doesn't always have to be moe girls. In fact, I highly prefer that it wasn't. I wish they'd just do like normal freaking, you know, some normal looking dudes, some normal looking girls, and just like here they are doing some, you know, hobby together. Like, it's basically a hobby show. After school dice club. So this is moe girls playing board games, but one of the cool things about this is that they're all real board games. Like, everything in this is based on a real game, other than the one they make. Obviously, they do make a game, but like everything else is like, they explain the rules. Like, it's basically like a giant ad. Like, every episode is just a giant ad for a real life board game that you can go and buy. And kind of the interesting thing, really, is that I'm pretty sure all the board games are of European origin. Like, if you don't know, Germany is basically like the hub of board games in the world. Like, it's the capital of people making board games, people kind of playing board games. It's basically probably the #1 country for that as well. So I feel like there's a great influence with that, and I wouldn't be surprised if the company, one of the big companies in Germany, sponsored this anime, or like some sort of deal was made. To, I don't know, like something's going on, because yeah, the majority of the games in this, I'm pretty sure, are you know, from Germany and stuff. Although all these German game creators, or however you, I can't remember. I think they are just called game designers, which makes sense. I can't remember. Anyway, I actually bought one of the games in this show. I've kind of forgotten what it's called now because it has a German name. But it's the one with like the balls, like the card game with ball. I'll put a title here. It was a really fun game. Really enjoyed it. And this anime sold me on it. So yeah, like each episode, as I said, is just them. In fact, there it is. There's the game right there on the front cover. They're literally playing it. It's probably why I flipped it around. This card game with little ball heads on it and stuff. It's way more fun than I'm describing. But yeah, I'm not going to try and describe the game because we'll be here forever, as I completely struggle to do that. But yeah, I really recommend this one. Probably, it might not be one you want to buy necessarily, because like I said, it does kind of feel like one giant infomercial. But man, is it a really fun infomercial. Like, genuinely. Really, really great. Loads of cool games. There's one in the first episode that I would love to get, called Marrakesh, where it's about basically building carpet shops in Marrakesh, which I believe is in Morocco, right? Marrakesh, pretty sure. Anyway, and yeah, that one's really, really cool. That seemed like a really fun game. There's one with bugs, like a card game with bugs that looks pretty cheap and simple and kind of fun. I don't know. There's loads, like, but there's also some really complicated ones. I remember there's one that's they meet this girl here, and who I think she might be from Germany actually. They're introduced to the wonderful world of Euro games. So yeah, European board games, whatever. But yeah, there's one that's based on like Celtic, like history or something, on folklore and things like that from Ireland or whatever. And that one looked really complicated. I know it's a really fun show though. Really highly recommend this one if you just want to turn your brain off and just watch. It's like super happy-go-lucky, really fun. And they get into like a little bit of the weeds of game design and stuff. Like when they start making their own game, they kind of go over the humps of like, is this actually fun? What, are we overcomplicating this and all that? Because the girl with the red glasses here wants to be a game designer. It's really, really fun. I really highly recommend this show. Again, like maybe not blind buy, but go and watch this stream if you really like it, like I did. Maybe pick it up. But it's got a dub and everything. So yeah, that's that. Highly recommended. And finally, this one's got a little story to it. So this one was fun in a weird way. It's a show that I wanted, but it was a fun way how I got to pick this up. I mean, it's not some grand story or anything, but obviously, I'm sure you're aware, I'm British, and I don't live in America, even though I primarily buy American anime releases. I don't like... Here in the UK, we have BBFC ratings, British Board of Film Classification, I think is the proper term for it, but, it's the ratings board, basically, so... And the majority of our releases have like that stuff plastered all over the cover art, the slip covers and all that. Also the cases are just wider here, which means they take up more space on the shelves. And we get less stuff, considerably less, because you have to pay money to have something rated in order to sell it. You can't sell it unrated. So you have to pay to get it rated, and that can often eat into profits because, the UK, while being a country, is the same size as Florida. And I don't know if the the population density is way higher here. We're a country of like 60 million people. I'm pretty sure there aren't 60 million people in Florida, but but that's the size of this country. So I mean, it's just like hard to make a profit here due to a smaller amount of the population being available to buy stuff, and you have to pay for the ratings and all this sort of stuff. So we get less stuff. So I primarily buy stuff from America. I prefer how the packaging. Hit the camera. I prefer how the packaging looks. I like how there's no ratings and all that garbage. Anyway, one of the downsides to that, though, of course, is that I can't just go out and buy anime. I can't walk out the door and go, I'm going to go shopping. Like, my main hobby, I can't walk out the door and go, I'm going to go shopping. Now, obviously, we live in freaking the 2020s. What the fuck? We're living in the roaring 20s, guys. What the fuck? Anyway, but yeah. Like, I can't just walk out the door and obviously and go and buy stuff, but a lot of people probably don't do that at all, even in America potentially. But I can't go in a half-price books. I can't go to a second-hand store. I can't go to a pawn shop. I can't go to a Goodwill. None of that stuff. I can't go and find stuff that I care about the most just on a shelf because I live in the UK. But recently, relatively, it was last year to be honest. When I picked this up, but a local video game store, second-hand video game store, that I was just randomly checking their Facebook. I hate going on Facebook, but it's the only place they do this. I was looking for a game, and they showcase everything that they've just had traded in. And I was scrolling through, and suddenly there was all this American anime. It wasn't a lot. It's like 12 titles, but it was American Funimation releases of anime. Like, all traded in I guess they were all like UK compatible because they had region B coding. A lot of the American releases come like this one has it A and B. Not that I need it. I have a region A player, just save headaches, but make sure I can get whatever I want. But yeah, like these are all UK compatible, and I guess someone had just imported them because none of these shows came out in the UK. Yeah, someone local, obviously to me, I guess. I was literally about an hour's walk from here. And a 10-minute bus ride, I guess. But yeah, it was just so surreal. I was like, okay, this is mad. I can just go to this shop locally and buy something that I kind of want. That's an American anime release. So this isn't the version I wanted. It's an Essentials release. Ideally, I would prefer to get it with the slipcover. But I wasn't going to turn down the opportunity to be able to experience just walking into a brick and mortar store locally and going to pick up an anime that I wanted that didn't come out in the UK. It was just so like weird, so I just had to do it. So I picked up Juni Tyson Zodiac War for £15 sterling. Great British pound sterling. £15. So yeah, really, really cool. It's really cool. It was just a fun thing to be able, like, it was obviously like a very quick experience, other than I actually kind of hate this video game store because like he's in way too much stock. Like he stocks loads of crap that he doesn't need, and it makes finding stuff in his store impossible. So I was kind of worried I wouldn't be able to find it. Thankfully I did. I ended up doing like a full 360 of his store, and then eventually found it like in a cardboard box on the floor. I was like, oh yeah, that's that stuff. Like it's an absolute nightmare, that store. I don't know how he makes money. It's just insane. It's impossible to find anything. But anyway, I was really worried I wasn't going to be able to find it, but I did. And it was really cool for that. Yeah, so I just found it on the floor and I was able to buy it. But yeah, it was just so fun. Like again, really quick experience, obviously, other than finding it. I think it took me like 3 minutes to find, and just fortunate to find it. And yeah, gave him the money, walked out the door with an American anime release. Yeah, and this show hasn't come out in the UK, I'm pretty darn sure. Even if it has, I wouldn't have bought that version for the reasons that I already stated. But yeah, yeah, little tangent, but whatever. Yeah, so I picked up Juni Tyson, Zodiac War. This is a show I'd already watched before, and it was one that I did enjoy. It's basically a battle royale show, like, which is kind of, survival game sort of thing. Takes place in the 12th Zodiac War or something, the 12th Juni Tyson tournament, held every 12 years. 12 proud warriors, each bearing a name from the Chinese zodiac, will prepare to fight in the bloody battle royal. The victor is granted a single wish, and they'll do whatever it takes to earn it. Blood and tears will flow on this battlefield. Who will be the lone survivor? And I think that final line there, who will be the lone survivor, I mean, that's what a battle royale is all about, and especially when it comes to like the movies and like anything that kind of adapts that sort of concept, a survival game. It's like, who's going to actually survive? And that's what makes this show fun to me. And like the crazy like zodiac part of it, where the characters are kind of like reminiscent of the Chinese zodiac signs, kind of makes it fun. Like you watch the first episode and you think, oh, is this the main character? And it's just like, quickly find out, don't think they were, sort of thing. So like, yeah, it's really fun in that way. You kind of never know what's going to happen. And you're going to be wondering the whole time while watching it. It's like, oh, I wonder who's going to win. I thought it was really, really cool. Your mileage may vary on that, but like again, I didn't think it was like the greatest show ever, but I really enjoyed it. So yeah, it was one that I had on my radar as something I'd like to pick up because I would like to watch it again. And yeah, just spotting it on there again. Wish it was the version with the slip, but it wasn't. But I was just like, I'm not going to turn down the opportunity to walk to the next town over and go in and buy an anime that I want. What the hell? This sticker is never coming off as evidence of that. I would normally take that off, but I'm not doing that. Yeah, I kind of begrudge giving that man £15 of my money. And I felt sorry for the person who sold all these, because they probably got ripped off trading them into there, but whatever. Yeah, just happy to have that experience, something I hope to do one day in my life. I would love to go to America and just walk into a half-price books. Even if I'm literally only going to pick up like 2 things, just the experience of being able to do that would be fun. Although I imagine I probably would pick up more because I like it's not just anime. Like I like picking up the American versions of movies as well for all the same reasons. You don't get the rating system crap. You don't get the wider cases. Like I just prefer the American releases. And yeah. I think if I ever did that, I'd probably pick up a bunch of movies as well. Anyway, whatever. That's the end of this incredibly long. This is going to take ages to edit, and it's way too long. I don't know why I talked for so long, but I did, as always. I suppose it's been a little while since I've done a video, but yeah, my intention wasn't to go on and on and on and on, but I did, and whatever. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment down below. Check out some of the openings that I've probably left, like the opening for this is really great as well, so check those out. And yeah, definitely watch Violet Evergarden, by the way, and definitely check out Mars Red. And yeah, and yeah, if you've never played Tales games, this goes on sale for like £2.50. I don't know what the American equivalent would be when it's on sale, but like probably not a whole lot more, like maybe like $4 or something. It's not the greatest Tales game, but it's maybe not the best sale, but like place to start. But I don't know, like Tales is great, and I feel like not enough people play them, so yeah, you should do that. Anyway, the video is definitely going to end now, so I'm Vase, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.